This is homework set 43. We're going to look at the last three questions, 8, 9, and 10. Question 8 says, how many gallons of a 35% alcohol solution and a 50% alcohol solution must be mixed together to get 9 gallons of a 40% alcohol solution? All right, so I do these by pictures. So first of all, we've got something like this. Here is two solutions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label these like this. On the outside, I'm going to put the number of gallons that I have. Now, I don't know how much this is. That'll be X. I got X number of gallons of that. Now, what is this? This will be the 35% solution. Okay, so I'll put the percentage inside and the number of gallons outside. Now, over here, we've got how many gallons here. I don't know why. I've got Y gallons there. And what percentage? This is a 50% solution. So what am I going to do now is I'm going to mix them together. Okay, so I'm going to mix these together. And what that's going to give me is, now, how much do we have all together? Outside, I've got X plus Y, right? I'm taking X and putting it into Y. So I've got X plus Y all together. And how much, what have we got here? This is going to be over here. This is a, oh, I actually know what this is, right? This is 9. X plus Y is 9. Tells me I've got 9 gallons of a 40% solution. So inside, this is going to be 40. All right, now set up the equations. Now, once you have the picture, the equations just follow. 0.35x, just follow it down. 0.35x plus 0.50y, that's equal to 0.40 times 9, right? This is, I got 35% of this amount plus 50% of this amount is alcohol, and that's equal to 40% of this amount, because I'm told that amount. Now, I have two variables. I have only one equation here, but I do know this, that X plus Y has to be 9. So there's another equation. X plus Y has to be 9. Now, up front, why don't we just eliminate all these decimals? So how about if we write 35x plus 50y is equal to 40 times 9, and then x plus y is equal to 9. So let's go ahead and make that computation right here. So let's rewrite the whole system up here on top. 35x plus 50y is equal to 9 times 4 is 36, and I've got a 0. Then I also have x plus y equals 9. Now we can solve this system. Out of that second equation, why don't we solve it for x? So just subtract the y. So we'll get x equals 9 minus y. Now take that 9 minus y, substitute it back in here for x. So we'll get 35 times the quantity 9 minus y plus 50y, that's equal to 360. Now, multiply through. 9 times 35. 315 minus 35y plus 50y is equal to 360. Now, let's subtract. So 360 minus 315, that's going to be a 45 over here. And then what about this? 50 minus 35, that's 15y. Now, divide. So y is equal to 45 divided by, all right here, 45 divided by 15, we get y is equal to 3. All right, so now you know y, but what about if you just put it in up here? This is a substitution method, so we get x equals 9 minus 3, x is 6. So what are these things? I mean, the answer is not x equals 6, y equals 3. Here's the question. How many gallons of each must be mixed? All right, so we've got a 35% solution, all right, 35% solution and a 50% solution. So how much of each? Okay, so what is the 35? Look over at your picture. The 35%, that was x. And when we solved it, we got x is equal to 6. Okay, so I'm going to get 6 gallons here. And then what was y? Look at your picture. That was the 50% solution. And I got y equal to 3. All right, so 6 gallons of 35%, 3 gallons at 50%. Question 9, we're told that there's a mixture of 15% disinfectant solution is to be made from 13% and 20%. Now, if you take a 13% and combine it with a 20%, the 13% will dilute to 20%, and we want to dilute it to 15%. So it looks like the problem's going to work. What we want to know is how much of each solution could be used at 14 gallons of the 15% are needed. So we need 14 gallons. So I do these by pictures. All right, so here's what I'll have. I have these two solutions that I'm going to mix together. Now on the outside, I put the amount. I don't know what it is, so call it X. I don't know how much of this one. That's Y. Now I'm going to make this from 13% and 20%. Okay, so my picture shows that I've got 13%, I've got X gallons at 13%. I've got Y gallons at 20%. Now I mix these together, and we're going to get what? I want out of this a 15% solution, and we want 14 gallons. Okay, 14 gallons right here. Okay, so I get two equations out of here. Here's one right here. X plus Y is 14. All right, so X plus Y is 14. And here's the other one. This is the percentages. 13% of X. So if I take 13% of X, add that to 15% of Y, that'll give me, oh, no, not 15% of Y, 20% of Y, right? You probably caught it. 20% of Y, that's equal to, there's the 15% of 14 gallons. There is our system. Now, we could just eliminate the decimals like we've done before, and then I can solve it for X or Y and substitute. But let's give Wolfram Alpha a try, just to get some practice. So in Wolfram Alpha, you're going to type in solve. Let me get it to right. You're going to type in solve, and then type the equations. X plus Y equals 14, comma, point 13. There's a point out here. I didn't write it too well. Point 13x plus point 20y equals point 15 times 14. So this is what I got when I typed it in, and I can see down here at the bottom, there's my solution. So I'm getting x equals 10, y equals 4, but what is x and what is y? Well, look at your picture. X is the amount of the 13% solution, right? So 13% solution, how much are we going to use? We are going to use 10 gallons. And then what is y, right? What is y? That's going to be a 4, but what is y? Y is the amount of the 20% solution. So how much of that 20% solution are we going to use? We're going to use 4 gallons. Question 10, another solutions problem. This time we're given that a chemist has 3 different acid solutions. Okay, so we're going to have 3 variables now, so we need 3 equations. I think I'm going to use Wolfram Alpha to solve this. So let's get our equations. Now, the first acid, okay, you know what? I'm going to draw pictures of these. I think we're going to end up mixing these things together. So I'll just draw my beakers, anticipating this is going to happen. So what happens? The first acid solution contains 25% acid. All right, so this up here, the percentage I put inside. So this is going to be a 25%. Now, I don't know how much. We got X, what is it in, I don't know what, if it's gallons or what. Okay, so, liters. All right, so I got X liters at 25%. And then the second solution has 45%. Now, that's 45. How much? We don't know. Y liters. And the third is 90% acid. Wow, 90% acid. All right, so that's Z. We're going to mix these together, and then we're going to get what? He wants to use all 3 solutions to obtain a mixture of 60 liters. All right, so outside here, We want this to be 60 liters, and what solution is it supposed to be? What strength? 50%. 50%. All right, so I'm going to have this equation here. X plus Y plus Z, that's equal to 60. There's one equation. X plus Y plus Z is equal to 60. Now here's another equation. Take the percents. 0.25 of this, 0.25 of that, 0.25x, that's how much the first solution contributes, plus, and just multiply, right? Just straight down, plus 45.45 y plus 0.90 z, that's equal to, now straight down, 0.50 times 60. Okay, now we need one more equation. 3 variables, I need 3 equations. Now we're told down here, we're using 2 times as much of the 90% solution as the 45% solution. All right, so the 90% solution is the z, the 45% solution is the y. So I want twice as much 90 as I do of the 45. Now that third equation, here's what I need to figure out. Using 2 times as much of the 90 as the 45. So just kind of look at it and say it to yourself. You want 2 times as much of the 90 as the 45, right? So you want twice as much of the 90 as the 45. So the 90, this is going to be twice as much as this. So z is 2y, all right? So z has to equal 2y. So I'll just kind of read it and say it to myself. So z is equal to 2y. There's my system. Let's use Wolfram Alpha. So go to wolframalpha.com and type in solve. Now type in your equations. X plus Y plus Z, that's equal to 60. And then 0.25x plus 0.45y plus 0.90z, that's equal to 0.50 times 60. And then z, comma, 2y. Separate those equations with commas. So here's what I got. I entered the equations. I just checked to be sure that that's what I actually put in. And here are my solutions right here. X is 30, Y is 10, Z is 20. So the question is, down at the bottom, how many liters of each solution should be used? So what is X? Look at X. You got X equals 30, but what is X? X is the number of liters of 25% solution. So out of the 25% solution, well, actually, let me just get rid of that decimal. Out of the 25% solution, we are going to use 30 liters. And what is Y? Y, that's the 45%. So out of the 45% solution, we are going to use what? 10 liters of that. And then for the 90% solution, right, we're going to use 20 liters. That answers our question. And that brings to an end our homework set 43.